hope that you are doing well, and that you are finding unique ways to cope with being at home, with your kids, with your husband, just maybe people that you're just not normally home with, and that is all working out well for you. I'm gonna try really hard in this video to not sound selfish or whiny or anything like that, but I want you to have a little bit of a taste or a glimpse of what all this means for people that are overseas in a country that's not their own, in a country where, they're just foreigners or an expat. I want to bring our perspective into this whole situation. And I know everybody has a little bit of everybody has bits and pieces of different views on this, and that's fine. I want you guys to hear a little bit about what we're going through and what life is like for us right now. We have been advised from our organization that is here on the ground with us to, get out if we have the means to do so. And they have some good reasons for that. One, this is not my home country. I don't want to take away from resources that others might need. Excuse me. I don't want to take away from resources that others might need. Are you in a place that if something happened, are there good hospitals? There's just a lot to consider. And so they're not so much telling us to get out, they're just like, weigh your options. Think about things critically. And it's been good. It has made us, think through things. But the reality is, it is almost impossible right now to get back to where we live in the U.S. Back to where our family lives in the U.S., I guess I should say. And as the situation worsens for that area, we don't want to be a burden to our family either. We have a home here to live in. We have, our... Sorry guys, I'm just really tired today. We have a home here to live in. We have our own space. Thomas has his own bed, his own room. We have our own room. We have our own bed, that kind of thing. And the reality is, if we were to go back to the U.S., we could stay with family, but we just wouldn't have our own space. And just not knowing how long this will go, I think part of us does feel better being here for the time being. And I love my family. They have supported us, and whatever decision we feel led, they haven't sat there and said, well, we think you should make this decision, or we think you should make this decision. They have been supportive either way. So, all that being said, just knowing that There's only a few flights that are even going to the US. And knowing that that amount will decrease as time goes on, it's hard. Like, it's hard to think about that. It's hard not to feel a little bit claustrophobic in the sense of, could we get out? And the answer is, I don't know. We do not know at this time when we'll be back in the US. Yes, we have plane tickets for this summer. Yes, we're hoping that those all work out and that everything falls into place, but there's no guarantee of that at this time. And that's hard. You know, when you've got grandparents and aunts and uncles and great grandparents and parents and nieces and nephews, and just not knowing when we'll possibly get to see them next in person is hard. Yes, we just signed up for this. Yes, we made this choice. But we're also trying to follow the Lord's will and do what He has for us. So please don't point the fingers and say, well, you chose that life. That just doesn't help at this point. I just want you to understand, like, some of us are grieving. There are things that, just the unknowns and things that we are grieving. And it's okay to grieve. It's okay to sit there and say, this is changing, that is happening. Not getting to see friends, not getting to see family, just all that stuff. And if it came down to the Philippines turning the tide and saying, get out, if they told us you need to leave now or you need to do this or that, like, we have 5 years of our life that we have spent here. When we left here after 2 years of serving, I was in a pretty abrupt situation, and I kind of mourned because it's like I felt like I didn't get to say proper goodbyes. I didn't know what was happening. We didn't know, what things were looking like, and it was just scary. And so, like, yes, we're staying put because we believe that that's the best thing to do right now, but we are also thinking about, okay, if we had to leave real quick, like, what would we take? How would things look like? How does that all fall into place? Dan's got his Lego collection and wanting to take that back, and we've got movies, and Thomas has toys, and I know that these are all material things. I try to look at everything around me and say, that can be replaced. I can get another one of that. I can get another one of that. It's okay. Like, I'm trying to look at things that way. But it's hard. It's hard because those are things that I like. Those are things that I enjoy. And to sit there and say that, we might have to pack up 6 suitcases and 6 carry-ons and leave everything else behind, like that thought is hard. Now, I know a lot of people have done it, and they, have come out on the other side. But it's just one thing that we're processing. It's just one thing, that's on our minds and that we're thinking about. And I'm trying to come to terms with that it might be a possibility. It would be nice if the flights are less people, if they would sit there and say, yeah, your suitcases can weigh more or whatever. the likelihood of that happening is probably very slim. And so it's just, yeah, there's just a lot of things that we're trying to process. You know, we're trying to make sure that we're still there, still here, doing our ministries, learning how to do different teaching and things online with our students, you know, and helping them through that process when honestly I don't understand a lot of it, and still trying to be there for our helpers. We have Filipinas that come to our house on a daily basis and help us with different things, and that's how they get their living wage. These Filipinas, they don't have a bank account, they don't have a savings account. I asked about it once and they said, ma'am, those are for the rich people. And so they're living on whatever they get month to month. And so, you know, we're trying to be there as much as we possibly can for them. And we're also trying to make sure that we're, you know, meeting the twins' needs, meeting Thomas's needs, meeting our needs. And honestly, to cope with things and to help Thomas and to help the twins, I bought a couple of toys the other day. I sat there and said, you know what? To have these options and things that we can hand the kids, you know, if we're going to be stuck inside or whatever, and just to give them something different to play with, that would be a good thing to have. You know, I've considered possibly rotating through Thomas's toys, you know, putting some of them away and then pulling them out later so that he's excited about them. Just different tactics. We don't have a yard. We have a porch, and we've utilized that. We were going on walks, but they really are trying to discourage people from even doing that, you know, and wanting us to stay home. So we're trying not to do that. We did take Thomas to the school with us today, and Dan and I worked in his classroom taking down some of the Legos, and it gave Thomas some time to play and things. And so we're trying to change up things. We're trying to do things differently. I'm trying to be okay with the fact that Thomas might not do any preschool stuff, and any little bit we do here and there, like, that'll help. And yeah, it's just, there's so much to think through, and there's so much to process, and I know that everybody's in that same boat. But please understand that being asked to stay in your home that's in the US, where you're not that far from your family and all that, like, that is different than being asked to stay in your home that is overseas and all you have is your immediate family. Like, I've said this before, like, I don't know when I'm gonna see my mom again, and that's hard, you know. It's hard, and I just, yeah, it's something that I'm grieving, and I'm trying with these videos to be real and raw with you guys, and to give you a glimpse of what we're going through, and that's a reality. And so we're praying that this will blow over really quickly, and that we'll still be able to have our summer plans. But the reality is we don't know. And the reality is, like, we don't know how much money is going to come in each month. We don't know which one of our partners are affected with maybe losing their jobs or working less hours or whatever. We do know that we've had less funds come in this month, and that's hard. But we're also like, we don't want to say anything because we know that you guys are going through this hard stuff, and we feel like we almost don't have a right or that we shouldn't say something. But that's a prayer request. Like, we're over here, overseas. I am thankful that we have in our emergency fund $1,000. But just not knowing, you know, what's gonna happen and things like that. Just the uncertainty is so, it adds to the anxiety. It just adds like, oh, are we gonna make it through this? And trying to care for others and trying to be the community and the village that we need to be to others has just been a learning curve. We're learning, we're growing, and definitely not doing the best at it at times. And so trying to really care for the kids and not get frustrated with them. But I'm better at that one day, and then the next day I'm not good at it. So yeah, there's a lot. And the main thing I just wanted to let you know is at this point we don't know when we'll be back to the US. So keep us in your prayers. Keep everybody in your prayers. I need to work on that. I need to spend lots more time in prayer. It's so important to be lifting everything up that we possibly can to the Father. So I hope you have a great day. I hope that you are finding fun things to do while you're indoors, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye. God bless.